When you first start doing Pilates, you need to be aware of several key principles that ensure that you do the exercises properly. First, Pilates uses breathing, which is in through the nose and out through the mouth. You direct your breath, your inhale, into the back rib cage so that when you do inhale, you prevent your chest from rising and your belly from expanding. That ensures that you are able to reach the deep transverse abdominis muscles, the deep abdominal stabilizing muscles that we really work on in Pilates. The second principle in Pilates is your pelvic placement. There are two positions, neutral and imprint. To achieve neutral, lie down on your mat like this, take your hands, put your wrists down on your hip bones and make a triangle down to your pubic bone. To get neutral, you make the triangle parallel to the mat. With that, you will have a slight gap in between the lower back and your mat. Most of us, when we first lie down, will have our pubic bone higher than our hip bones. So most of us will need to tilt our pelvis forward to achieve neutral. The second position is imprint. To imprint, you bring your hips closer to your ribs, closing that little gap in between the lower back and your mat. You need to make sure you make this movement with your abdominals, predominantly your obliques, your side abdominal muscles, and keep any tension out of your glutes and hamstrings. Also, you ensure that when you imprint, your abs stay nice and flat and you don't pop your middle muscle out. To achieve a proper abdominal contraction, I want you to lie down in your neutral pelvis like this with the little gap between the lower back and the mat and put your hands on your pelvis. Take an inhale through the nose, and on your exhale, deepen your abdominal contraction, and as you do that, draw your abdominals away from your hands. Inhale and maintain that contraction, and exhale, deepen it again, and drawing your abs away from your hands again. Make sure you don't transfer any strain into your shoulders or your chest, and just maintain your breathing. The third principle is your rib cage placement. Rib cage is challenged by the arms. Anytime you lift your arms overhead, the tendency is for your middle back to arch like this and your rib cage to pop out. To ensure proper alignment of your thoracic, your mid-back, make sure you connect with your obliques and soften the rib cage, leaving it down on the mat. So proper engagement of the abdominals and the obliques will prevent your rib cage from popping out as you perform movements with your arms. The fourth principle is your shoulder stabilization. You want to prevent any kind of elevation, depression, protraction, or retraction. So anytime before you start performing an exercise, you stabilize your shoulders by rolling them back and down. Just think of your shoulder blades as rolling back and down into a V along your spine. The last principle is neck placement. It is to prevent strain when you lift your torso off the mat. So let's say I go into an ab prep. I need to do a slight nod of the chin before I leave the mat so that I don't leave my head here and create strain through my neck. Performing an exercise with a strained neck like this is sure to leave you injured. So before I lift my torso, I like to tell my clients to give themselves a double chin, nod their chin, elongate the back of their neck, and then deepen their abdominals and flex their shoulder blades off the mat. Now my head is stacked on my neck and shoulders and no strain is present. After your warm-up, let's start your workout with the first exercise called an ab prep that puts all of the principles together. You lie down on your mat, knees bent, feet down, chest nice and wide, pelvis in neutral, so a little gap between the lower back and the mat. And inhale, tuck your chin. Exhale, deepen the abdominals and flex your shoulder blades off the mat. Arms lift off the mat, parallel, reaching nice and long. Inhale, stay here, abdominals stay nice and flat. And exhale, roll back down. Again, inhale, tuck your chin, elongate the back of your neck. Exhale, deepen your abdominals and lift your shoulder blades off the mat. Inhale, stay, and exhale, roll down. Repeat this exercise 5 to 8 times. Next, let's practice some extension with a breaststroke prep. Lying down on your belly, feet together, glutes and hamstrings slightly engaged. Arms nice and wide by your sides, starting down. On your inhale, you stabilize your shoulder blades, so roll them back and down. On the exhale, push into your forearms and extend through your mid and upper back, shoulder blades together, really making sure you keep your belly button to your spine to protect your lower back here. Inhale into the back and stay, and exhale, don't let go of your abdominals and roll back down. Again, inhale, stabilize your shoulder blades first. Exhale, push into the forearms and lift up. The lowest ribs should stay on the mat, bringing your shoulder blades together again as you inhale and exhale back down. Repeat this exercise about 5 times. After every exercise that involves extension of your back, we like to do a shell stretch to stretch your back the other way. To shell stretch, sit down on your knees, create a nice curve through your back, and feel the stretch. Engage your abdominals and maintain your breathing. Take a few breaths in this position, and when you're ready, deepen your abdominals and roll back up into neutral. The next exercise is the 100. There's several different positions you can use depending on your strength and flexibility. The first is lying down with your knees bent and feet on the mat, pelvis in neutral, arms long. You inhale, tuck your chin. Exhale, deepen your abdominals and lift. And then you pump your arms at the shoulder as if you were pushing down on a spring by your waist here, by your hip. You inhale for 5 counts and exhale for 5 counts, all the way up to 100. The next position is to imprint, so close the little gap between the lower back and the mat. Lift one leg at a time up to tabletop position, which is a 90-degree angle at the knee and the hip. You perform the exercise here. Inhale, tuck your chin. Exhale, lift up. And inhale for 5. Exhale for 5. If that's not challenging enough, maintain your imprint and extend your legs on the diagonal, performing the exercise here. If you get tired throughout the exercise in this position, you're free to come back into tabletop, or if you're in tabletop, you can come down to the mat. Likewise the other way. If this is not challenging for you enough, lift to tabletop or increase on the diagonal as you go. Next is the half roll back. The starting position is sitting down on the mat, pelvis nice and neutral, so make sure you're not sagging through your lower back here. Bring in this nice and tall, arms in front, shoulders stable. So make sure your arms aren't forward, pulling your shoulder blades forward. Stabilize them first. You inhale to prepare. On your exhale, move your hips away from the fronts of your legs, creating a scoop through the lower back. Go to the back of your sits bones first and bring it back. Inhale, stay in this position. On your exhale, maintain this curve. Pretend there's a ball in your lap, leading with the chest, flexing back over your knees. Inhale, stay here. Exhale. Again, move to the back of your sits bones, creating that scoop through your lower back, stabilizing your shoulders as you go. Inhale, stay. And exhale again, maintaining that curve, flexing back forward over your knees. And then you come back up. You want to do this one about 5 to 8 times. Let's go into the one leg circle. Again, there's 3 different positions we can use. The full exercise is lying down with both legs extended, one pointing up. Chest is nice and wide, lots of core stability to prevent your pelvis from rocking side to side. You inhale for half the circle and exhale for the other half. You go 5 in one direction and then switch 5 in the other direction. If this is gripping through your hip flexors, you can bend this leg and do the exercise here. And if it's still too much, you can bend this leg as well. Just make sure you're mobilizing at the hip instead of drawing circles with your foot. Next exercise is the spine twist. It looks a lot more simple than it is. Sitting up on your mat, feet crossed, arms to the sides. Shoulders nice and stable, and core is turned on. You inhale to prepare. Exhale, twist through the rib cage for 1, slight release. Exhale, deepen your rotation, release, and exhale for 3. Inhale back to center, nice and tall. Other side. Exhale for 1, release. Exhale 2, release. Exhale 3, inhale back to center. You really want to make sure you're twisting through the rib cage and your pelvis isn't moving. There's a lot of work through the obliques. Our next exercise is the single leg stretch. So lie down on your mat. Imprint your pelvis, so close that little gap between the lower back and your mat. Lift one leg at a time to tabletop, 90-degree knee, 90-degree hip. Arms are going to be reaching towards your knees. Inhale, tuck your chin. Exhale, deepen your abdominals and flex your shoulder blades off the mat. You inhale and exhale. One leg extends, the other one stays at 90 degrees. Inside hand on the inside of your knee, outside hand reaching towards your ankle. And then you switch. Inhale as they switch. Exhale as that leg extends and switch. Both hands are always on the bent knee. So inhale and exhale. Quick breathing. Inhale, exhale. You make sure you're just moving at the hip and your abdominals stay nice and flat throughout here. Inhale, exhale. Requires a little bit of coordination, but if you practice, you'll get it in no time. Let's work on our obliques, our side abdominal muscles. Lying back down on your mat, imprinting your pelvis. One leg at a time to tabletop. Hands are going to be behind your head here. Watch that your rib cage doesn't pop out since your hands are behind your head. Keep the rib cage nice and soft and core nice and on. You inhale, tuck your chin. Exhale, flex your shoulder blades off. And exhale, bring that opposite rib across. Twist. Inhale to center. Elbows nice and wide. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Maintain your flexion. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Again, you want to prevent your elbow going across or turning your head. So again, a small rotation through the rib cage as your abdominals stay nice and flat. Don't forget your breathing. Always exhale on the twist. Inhale back to center. If you want to add a challenge, you'll add the legs to it. So extend one, opposite elbow to the knee, and back in. And twist and extend. Inhale through the center. And finish. Next exercise is extension for our back. I don't like to teach a lot of extension because a lot of people don't do it properly and it can lead to injury. So when you do any kind of extension, it's always very important to keep your core on to protect your lower back. So when you lie down on your belly, really pull your belly button up to your spine to protect your lower back. If you're feeling this exercise in your lower back, you're not doing it properly. So either stop or really think about your core and switch that on. Pretend you're wearing a corset and it's all bringing it in. All your abdominals coming in and up. Arms stay long, wide by your side, looking down at your mat. Inhale, stabilize your shoulders, roll them back and down, and bring your arms overhead. Exhale, you swim down to your hips and extend. Inhale, back down into a hover, and exhale, extend. Inhale, back down into a hover. Exhale, extend. Inhale, back down. Are you ready? Come down. We'll do this exercise no more than 8 times. When you're finished, make sure you go into a shell stretch to stretch that lower back. I'd like to teach you the Pilates push-up. Pilates push-up is all about your posture and alignment as you're pushing up. You start standing at the front of your mat, nice and tall. Inhale, nod your chin, and roll down to your mat. Exhale, walk your hands out, stabilize your shoulders here. You can stay in this position or you can come down on your knees, whichever way you're more comfortable. If you're in this position, make sure you're not lifting your hips up or arching through the lower back. So a nice plank. You inhale for 3 counts and exhale, push up. Belly button to your spine. Inhale down. Exhale, push up. One more. Inhale down. Exhale, push up. Inhale, walk your hands back to your feet. And exhale, roll back up. One more time. Inhale, tuck your chin and roll down. Exhale, walk your hands out. Align your plank. Come down to your knees if you'd like. Inhale for 1. Exhale. Inhale down. Exhale. Inhale down. Exhale. Inhale, walk your hands back to your feet. And exhale, roll back up. You can do another one if you'd like.